Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Lodan Rodriguez, and I'll be doing my 1.2 tool tutorial presentation on Hootsuite. So jumping right into the presentation, let's make a little bit of a chapter connect for what we learned or are learning in chapter 7, specifically looking at social media optimization, as well as the difference between that and search engine optimization. So when we're looking at SMO, we're also looking at social media integration. It uses tactics to increase the likelihood that others will share and promote the content to which the company or brand is publishing or looking to seek out. It also looks to leverage on the network effect to spread endorsement of a brand with links to the brand's contents. Now let's talk a little bit about the difference between these two concepts that we talk about within Chapter 7. With search engine optimization, it concentrates on finding ways to calculate good result ranking for content, while social media optimization focuses on encouraging the sharing of content. So we see a little bit of a difference there between one being more analytical and another one being more focused on making sure that we're sharing and expanding on our networks and markets to reach the most possible audiences that we can with our content. So there's a very, very robust difference between the two. And even though they might look similar within initials, there is a vast difference. So again, SEO is more on the analytics data, making sure that we're top ranked at every search engine, and making sure with SMO that we're focusing on sharing the content and that it's being shared out to our potential audiences and also those who are interested in what we're doing. So looking at Hootsuite, what is it and how do you use it? Well, for starters, let's look at Canada. Yes, it all starts with Canada, specifically this man right here, Ryan Holmes, the CEO and founder of Hootsuite. A little bit about Hootsuite. So Hootsuite is a social media marketing and management dashboard. It was started in 2008 in Vancouver, Canada, but it started off by the name of BrightKit as a platform to manage over only Twitter accounts at the time. And now later on in 2010, it changed the name to Hootsuite after a White House endorsement before expanding into other social media platforms and building into a brand. Now these platforms range from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and so on. And now the company and brand averages about $409 million in revenue per year and has over 18 million active customers. And this is all according to the brief history on Hootsuite by Digital Magazine, as well as the About Us on the official website. Now, looking at the official website, one of the first things that we'll see on the official website is this pop-up screen. It tells you a little bit about what the company is looking towards, and this is pretty much the basic screen that you'll see every time that Hootsuite pops up. And while this is on the official website online, let's take a closer look at what the actual dashboard looks like from a different perspective. So this was taken off of YouTube on a tutorial on how to best utilize Hootsuite. This is from somebody who actually has gotten a chance to use it, and I wasn't able to personally use it just because I personally wasn't able to use the demo. However, I did want to make sure that we understood a little bit of what Hootsuite is, and this was a really great way to see how it was done. So of course you see the dashboard here, and it's a pretty standard, pretty straightforward. It's pretty much blank. You see a couple things on the side here, but to begin with, you look to get started right there. From there, you see that there's posts and mentions, and you can actually select a social network to start off in. Obviously, you see there with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and a LinkedIn page as well, and you can also look to add more towards that. So first, you select a social media network. From here, now you link the account to Hootsuite. So you put in your information, you sign in, you see all the privacy policies and what they'll have access to and will be able to do with Hootsuite. So once you have been logged in and authorized the use for your social media networks, you'll see an automatic pop-up on your dashboard. right here you'll see that it says on the left hand side where it says streams, you'll see that there's a Twitter pop-up, and you see on the right hand side towards the middle you'll see a difference between columns. Something that's really cool about Hootsuite is that you're able to manage your social media networks within the dashboard once you have an account. So obviously right there on the left hand side you'll see my tweets, so you'll see all of the tweets that are located within that specific account that you synchronize with Hootsuite. Towards the middle you see that there's mentions, so anytime there's a mention of the social media account that you're using, you'll see it pop up there too in real time. And what's really interesting too is on that right hand side of the screen where you see it says add a stream towards the networks, you can add different types of columns that will list out the different analytics from followers, lists, likes, retweets, my tweets. Now this is all associated with the Twitter account that was linked. However, you can utilize it for other social media platforms as well, which I thought was really cool, because now you get to see the different insights on your social media account without having to really do too much digging within a website or online or through your phone. It's really accessible and right there in real time. Now something else that I also found interesting is when you're looking towards that right hand side of the screen where you're seeing the network section, you can actually look towards hashtags and things that are popping up that are trending or any other sort of popular topics that are being discussed on Twitter, and you can see what's going on there as well. Now quickly looking at how to add a social network, you'll see right here at the bottom left side of the screen, you're able to go to my profile and add a specific network that you want to add besides just Twitter. And that's pretty much following along those same steps and guidelines to add those accounts that you wish to use. Now looking towards the publisher side of Hootsuite, the main point that we're trying to get to with utilizing and managing different social media accounts, that you'll also get to make posts on multiple accounts at the same time. So here we have an example of a post that's being made through both Facebook and Twitter. You can see that there's a text that you can make out as a caption. You can customize the links and everything, customize the picture that is used for it as well. It's a pretty cool way to manage all types of accounts that you may have. You also see that there's a publishing section as well, so you have a calendar to where you can schedule when to post. And something that's really cool about the publisher section as well is that you get to see not only the calendar, but you can get to see where exactly it is that you scheduled, and you can adjust accordingly or make changes as you will, and you can actually plan out and plan ahead with your different posts. So now let's talk about the marketing benefits that come along with utilizing Hootsuite. So of course, with being able to post on different and multiple accounts as you wish, depending on the plan that you utilize, as well as being able to see in real time the different statistics that are involved besides just the social media optimization. Now you're able to see those statistics. You're able to have management over your social media. You're also able to have more productivity and efficiency when it comes to posting on different accounts at the same time, rather than having to do them individually. You can have them planned out ahead of time, so now the work's being done for you. There's a controlled environment, so you control what exactly is being posted and what's going on within those accounts and seeing them in real time. You have also access to all that content and data at your fingertips with Hootsuite, and having those sharing capabilities that we talk about with social media optimization. But not only that, something that's really awesome with the official website of Hootsuite is that when you see that official dashboard on the main website, you also see that there's an industry under the enterprise section that lists out the main industries that are being used from Hootsuite. So here we have financial services, government, healthcare, higher education, and agencies. But it's not only just about those industries. You can also utilize it towards your own personal benefit, whether you have a small team with social media production or any sort of small business that you can utilize to medium size, but these are more on the larger spectrums of what they're also looking to seek out. So here we have the different benefits with utilizing one of those industries: staying compliant, being secure. You can mitigate the risk that we're going to talk about a little later on in the presentation. You see that there's an empowerment of staff, allowing your team to engage directly with citizens, staying compliant, integrations with social media archiving solutions to keep you compliant with FOIA and other public records laws, and measuring public sentiment. These are other benefits as well that are being listed out under that official. These are all under the official Hootsuite website, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, in my opinion, when we're looking to suggestions towards how the tool can be utilized to harness and achieve marketing objectives, I think it's a matter of that team building aspect within many companies and businesses. I think the best way to get the most optimal purposes for Hootsuite is to making sure you're using every single option that is listed within Hootsuite as well, from that publisher, from getting to see and schedule your posts ahead of time, and seeing, especially for me, being able to see those statistics real time along with that social media optimization is going to be really key to making sure any objectives that we'll have, for whether it be a quarter, for the year, for the month, that we're meeting those and also being able to track it in real time. Now let's talk a little bit about how do they monetize. Let's talk about money. So Hootsuite offers a variety of different plans that I won't really dive into too much, as you can see them listed here. Obviously, there's 4 different plans that we can see from the official website. So there's a professional plan, there's the team plan, the business plan, and the enterprise plan. And so obviously there's free trials. So there is a opportunity to utilize Hootsuite for a certain amount of time before somebody or a team or business or enterprise looks to fully invest in their business with Hootsuite. And so these prices, while they are remaining the same for now, with the enterprise, since it is such a much larger venture, there are custom solutions and quotes that meet those demands. So where do those millions of dollars in revenue come from? My biggest thing was that I wasn't really able to find a lot of data suggesting and looking towards Hootsuite's official revenue. However, I do believe that most of it comes from the immense amount of those 18 million active customers utilizing the variety of different plans. Hootsuite also looks and works with many Fortune 500 companies, and in my opinion, if I'm looking from a business perspective, I would want to try to secure a lot of those ventures through enterprises, and making sure that we're capitalizing on those opportunities, especially considering and having the confidence that this is a really great tool. Another thing for me too is that when we're looking towards businesses on the perspective of somebody who might be looking to seek out Hootsuite, being able to invest for myself or my business or my company the most options to now get data, to now be able to manage different social media accounts that we may be utilizing now for this new era of social media, where advertisements and business is being done so much online that sometimes we won't be able to really control it. This is a really great option for us to utilize. So being able to invest in ourselves, I think, is going to be a really big key. And also looking from Hootsuite towards these consumers, again, it's being able to have those different plans laid out to where different people with different needs now have the opportunity to utilize the most that Hootsuite has to offer through these options. And so now let's talk about a little bit about the potential risks that could involve Hootsuite. Yes, now while every application and every tool is very awesome and really, really cool with what we've been researching and looking into, there are always going to be risks involved, especially when it's looking towards investment of your own capital and your own money. And so I wanted to list out 3 of these really quickly. So we have employee error. Many times within managing a team, managing accounts can be a little bit tricky too. Even ourselves, I feel like we make a lot of personal mistakes in our social media, and it's a lot quicker on a personal end to fix those errors. However, on an employee side, when you're managing an enterprise, that can now cause a lot of issues. Phishing issues as well are potential risks, and potential hacks too. I mean, nobody is really safe from hacks, especially through third-party applications. And finally, looking to conclude with my marketer's perspective. Now, would I suggest this tool? Absolutely. Hootsuite has a variety of different opportunities for us to maximize with different options that we can utilize from the publisher standpoint, the data statistics, and everything that it has to offer. I pretty much laid it out in this presentation. Now, who would I not suggest this to? Possibly just those smaller teams being able to still manage them from an individual standpoint, but looking towards that big picture. I believe that Hootsuite has the most opportunity for a company or business. And finally, this is my works cited. Thank you so much, and I look forward to any questions you have.